Hello and welcome to the 151st episode of the Filmmakers Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk filmmaking, from indie films to studio films and everything in between. How to get them made, how to make them, and how to try and to F it up, in our very, very humble opinion. I am delighted to tell you that a week from today, in fact a week yesterday, The Dare will be released and in your faces. My feature film that I co-wrote with Johnny Grant, that I directed, that was produced by Julian Kostoff and made by Millennium Films and B2I Studios, I'm delighted to say will be available. I can't believe it. It feels unreal. It feels surreal. But I cannot wait for that to be in your eyeballs and in your ears. I've been talking about this since I started the podcast, so it would mean the world to me if you would support me and the Dare journey by just clicking the pre-order link that is in the show notes. If you're in America, you can get that now. It is released in the UK late summer. But if you're in America, please, if you like this show in any way or me, I would love it if you pre-ordered that and got involved and let me know what you thought. The trailer is in the show notes as well as the pre-order link. So today, our episode is with the director, Kate Madison. She talks about how she made her feature, Born of Hope, which was a fan film based on Lord of the Rings, which has had over 50 million hits. 50 on YouTube. She also talks about her fantasy action web series, Ren the Girl with the Mark, which was a huge hit online and has had over 8 million hits as well. And that she goes into detail about how she made that fantastic web series. It really, really is good. They're in bite-sized chunks and it is now available on Amazon Prime as well, so you can get your eyeballs all over that. And she's joining us to talk about her second season, which she is kickstarting for right now. They are pretty much at the end of the Kickstarter, so jump on board. Links to that are in the show notes. It would mean the world to her if you were to support in any way. Go have a look if nothing else, because there are some amazing behind the scenes videos of how they made it, interviews with all the cast and crew. It is brilliant. Go to Mythica Entertainment on YouTube or rentheseries.com. All the links to that are in the show notes. So that's coming up on today's episode of the Filmmakers Podcast with Kate Madison and myself and Robbie McCain. Myself is Giles Alderson, that is I am Giles Alderson, I am he. I'm a writer, director and producer, and like I mentioned, The Dare is available a week from today. Well, a week less, 6 days. March the 3rd, it will be available for you. I'm also the producer of Serial Killer's Guide to Life, which is available now on Sky Store. You can go watch it. It is just happens to be, even though I've been working on films for a long time, they all just happen to be coming out around the same time. It's bizarre how that can happen, but it can. It absolutely can. So the Make Your Film event, it has been announced. It is on the 25th of March. If you're in London, get yourself down there. There's no excuses now. We do sell out, so get in there quickly. Our first announced guest is Simon Cox, who has been on the podcast, and he talks all about how he made his fantastic sci-fi epic Invasion Planet Earth, over 17 years in total, but over 7 years he was filming it and getting it made, because it's so hard to do that on a micro budget or no budget, and he has done that and he's achieved it, and he got to number 19 in the charts, and it is a massive success. And he is joining us on the Make Your Film event on March the 25th for me and Dom Lenoir's event. Please come down if you can. Links to that are in the show notes. RAINDANCE, we're giving you 20% off their Saturday film school. So if you, like Kate Madison, want to go out there and go make a series, a web series, anything like that, and get it out online and do well, then the Saturday Film School is for you. And we're giving you 20% off with the code FilmPod2020. The Saturday Film School launched the careers of hundreds of British independent filmmakers. The techniques and tools are the ones used by filmmakers like Edgar Wright and Christopher Nolan. So you're in good hands to go out there and go make your films and TV series and web series as well. It has been taken by over 15,000 filmmakers and screenwriters. So if you fancy the RAINDANCE course, link to that are in the show notes. The Saturday Film School, and you get 20% off because we're ace at the Filmmakers Podcast. Right, okay, let's get to this week's episode of the Filmmakers Podcast with the fantastic Kate Madison. Myself and Robbie McCain sit down and chat to her all about Ren the series and her fan film that is born of hope. I hope you enjoy this week's Filmmakers Podcast. Kate, thank you so much for joining us on the Filmmakers Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. It actually is a real pleasure. We'll talk about Ren in detail because it's an amazing achievement to make anything generally, but to make a really ridiculously successful YouTube sort of series, it's a fantasy-led with swords and sandals, is pretty impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, it's I've been very lucky. My projects are sort of, they always take a while to get going and do because they're so big, but then they seem to just find an audience. People love it. I did a Lord of the Rings thing years ago, and that found a huge audience and still is finding an audience, which is crazy. And but the fact that this original show is also finding such a large audience is beyond what we were imagining. I was ambitiously thinking, like, oh, maybe we could get like 500,000 people watching each episode. Like that's what, I was looking around other web series and go, well, that there was Wizards of Oz is one, and they had large numbers, and I was like, but lots of the others don't. And I'm like, well, let's try and do that. Yeah. And now like 8 million views on the whole season now, and it's just like, what?
Wow.
I mean, really impressive.
It's totally impressive. And we'll get to how and why and how you made that. Also joining us today is Robbie McCain. Hello, buddy.
Thank you, Giles. Yeah.
Well, it's nice. I think it was nice to give you an
Thanks
intro.
for acknowledging me, my presence.
I was going to not, and then you spoke. I was like, oh shit, I've got to do it.
Oh no, he's giving himself away.
I know, totally.
Doing the classic thing of talking before the introduction.
Yeah, but that's a good thing.
That's what we like.
Because I'll do the main
podcast.
introduction at home.
Yeah,
I imagine. We are in RAINDANCE. And thank you, RAINDANCE, for letting us have this space today. It is slightly echoey, but Robbie's going to work his magic, I imagine, on the edit and production. Basically, I've just thrown this
putting
at you
the pressure
now
on, Giles.
and made you do this episode. Yes. Have you been, Robbie? Because we're in the middle of TV series right now.
It's all a bit hectic. We're doing another season of our London live show, which is great. It's been a lot of shuttling drives back and forth to editors across London, so getting a fair few steps on my daily step count, which is good.
It's basically full on, isn't it? When you're doing something that even though it's London Live is
we don't have assistants on this show.
We don't have assistants, so when
we've got to do everything ourselves. So as producer, you kind of got to do all the things that you would normally have runners and research assistants for. So
we don't have them. So when you look at the credits on Hot Topics,
it's just two people, is it?
Robbie did this, Giles did this, Robbie did this, Giles did this.
It's kind of like the joke credits.
It's the joke credits.
Monty Python or something like that. Yeah.
We start making up names for each other.
But filmmakers will be used to that.
I mean, that's the whole, like, it's so part of independent film is being able to do more than one job.
I agree with that.
Or being able to do every job.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's basically it. But yeah, exactly. You sort of end up doing everything because you often have to. Especially when there's no budget, you're like, who else is going to do this?
The buck stops with you.
Yeah, it's like, I want to do this. Who else is going to slog away, doing this edit or doing whatever when there's no budget to ask people to do it? It's like, and it's tough, but you learn a lot because you have to.
You do.
So you learn every job. Yeah.
When did you start learning every job? Because you were an actress and you still are. When did you learn to say, "Oh, I'm going to do the other side of the camera"?
I mean, pretty much straight away.
Really?
I mean, well, I say. I've done acting since I was a kid and really loved all that sort of creative stuff. There was a group in Cambridge that I got involved with.
The Footlights, obviously.
If only. It was Cambridge. The Cambridge Filmmakers Network at the time.
Nice.
There's various groups that sort of come and go from Cambridge, but there's a lot of filmmakers in Cambridge. And I got involved in them and helped out on a short film. I think I was the script supervisor on that very first film. But a lot of typical of short film, every film is problem solving, but things went wrong on that production. It was just a weekend shoot, and like on the Sunday, we had to basically start from scratch, and it really taught me to sort of, because I couldn't be a script supervisor anymore. There was no script. We were starting again. It was the moment where I went, I might be able to direct this, or direct something, because just sort of seeing how interactive it is on a film set. You know, like there is always someone who's got your back. There's always someone with ideas, and just realizing I had ideas of how to do things,
and being good with people as well.
Yeah,
and I can see you're good with people straight away, and I think that's really important as a filmmaker, as producer, director, in that top end career. But actually, I think in any role in the filmmaking,
my sort of attitude is always that it's hard work making a film. Like it can be fun, and the end result can be amazing, but it's a lot of work. It's a little bubble you disappear into, and you really do. And generally in life as well, life is hard. Like, let's make it easier on ourselves. So I like that positivity environment. I'm not good with sort of like people being too negative about stuff or whatever, or bringing things down. So so I do try and cultivate a fun set, a working set, but one that's pleasant to be on. You know, I don't want people to not be enjoying themselves and things, or not sort of having feeling like. Also that cultivates creativity as well. Like if people feel free to be able to speak up and sort of suggest things or whatever, and they don't feel oppressed by whatever, then it's just a much nicer environment, and we just get on with it, sort of thing, and try and not let it stress you out. So I think that helps me not getting sort of stressed, and not having other team members who get, or at least openly, everyone gets stressed, but like don't bring that out on other people. I think really helps. And then just bringing in people who have that same kind of attitude of we're trying to make something, we're aiming for the stars, let's see what we can do, sort of thing, and people love that. I think
absolutely, shoot for the moon, isn't it? I think it's vital when you're doing that. So obviously we're here to talk about Ren. You're in your Kickstarter right now
for season 2.
Season 2, which is ace. The fact that it's done so well, and now you're going, well, let's do another one. Which is super exciting. It was
always the intention that it was an ongoing series, and finally we're at a stage where we're like, we're going to make new episodes. If the audience wants it, we'll make more. Like, and this is super. So everyone knows, Ren is a web series. There's 5 sort of 10-minute episodes that make up our season 1, and you can watch them all on YouTube. But we're also on various other platforms, including Amazon Prime, which is so good. We thought it was best to condense it all into one episode instead of 5 10-minute episodes with all the previously ons. And so it's edited into a 45-minute cut. And that's so there's some scenes
tweaks
have been tweaked just slightly. There's like a couple of extra shots even.
It's like the Godfather saga cut, where they cut 1 and 2 together.
Well, let's jump back to why you thought about doing this, because it's really hard to do a fantasy series anyway. Swords, sandals, that kind of vibe, you know, with, at the time you're thinking, oh gosh, we've got no money.
Production design is
huge.
You know about this, Giles.
I do know about this,
because you've done King Arthur.
Absolutely.
And Arthur and Merlin, Knights of Camelot, and you've done the Boudica short.
The Boudica short as well. Absolutely. Well, we've had some people who've worked on that, who also worked on Ren. And I think, I know how hard it is. But why did you come up with the idea in the first place to do this? Talk us back through there and how you built the audience.
Because you could have chosen easier concepts to do short web series.
I don't seem to have easier concepts in my mind.
No, but that's fantastic, because a lot of people maybe don't necessarily, they might have ideas for films, but they might think, they'll never be able to do that because it's such a big budget. But you obviously shown that you can do that. You know, we live in an age where you can do a lot of these things by, you know, being a bit clever and getting the right people on board.
Figuring out how you can attack something like this, from what angle to make it doable is the interesting thing I find with fantasy. But
because this is the first thing you also directed, as far as I can tell. I might be wrong, but in terms of,
I haven't done a huge amount. I directed Born of Hope, the Lord of the Rings.
Was that before the Ren then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's brilliant, by the way. We'll get on to that. It's basically a Lord of the Rings fan film, which isn't like an hour and 10 minutes.
It's pretty much a feature film, like Lord of the Rings prequel.
I'm amazed you did this. And again, so this is first.
Yes.
Right, I thought it was after. Right.
No, this has been out on the internet now for 10 years. It's had about 50 million views or something
50
crazy.
50 million views, which is insane. Let's jump there first, and then it'll bring us to Ren. Obviously, now that's why you want us to do Ren and do the sort of, you've done that world. Why do Born of Hope? Why do your Lord of the Rings fantasy film? And because that must have been ridiculously hard.
Well, so I was luckily still young and naive.
and thought the world would take over.
Pretty
and
much.
It'd be great, yeah.
Because I had, like, before that, I'd literally I'd helped out on a couple of short films, if that, and I directed a short. Well, I say a short film; it was a half an hour film. Again, which was sort of sword fighting. It was nicknamed Bufflander, that one, because it was a bit Buffy, a bit Highlander.
Bufflander.
Yeah, Bufflander. It was actually called Into the Darkness. I think it's on the YouTube. Really, it's not good. But
Bufflander's a better title.
Yeah, exactly.
Bufflander's
Bufflander is great. But it was like, it was ancient. It was demons and angels and an ancient book, and someone had, a human who was caught in the middle of. It was, it sounds epic, but it needed some work.
Fine, but a great experience.
Great experience.
You, right?
That was my. I did not do film school or anything like this. I learned from watching movies, from watching a few probably tutorials, I had a few books or whatever, but really I just went out and made stuff. And I was lucky that I also had a team of people around me who had the knowledge and helped guide me through, which is so important too.
Yes.
But yeah, so after that, I was like, I have this one idea, which is Born of Hope. And that came about after watching Lord of the Rings.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson,
kinda.
what have you got? What have you got now on me?
Hold my beer, Peter Jackson.
I'll show you how it's done.
It was
19 Oscars.
I know. It's just I watched that film or those films, and then I think I was also watching all the behind the scenes, and
I love those behind the scenes.
Amazing.
And watching those behind the scenes, I was like, I want to have an experience like that. That looks like such an thing to work on. To that the friendships that were made, all this sort of stuff, and there was something that was just drawing me in, and the spark for Born of Hope was reading about a fan film competition at some convention, but they wanted like a 5-minute film, but that just triggered something.
No. I can do better than that. 5 minutes.
Pretty much. I just sort of started work, like it just started developing, and obviously that deadline came and went, but that idea stayed. And spent a number of years working towards Born of Hope. We did a test shoot sort of thing, a few scenes, and went, this is possible. This could work, and then just kept going. Really.
Did you get the actors around you? How did you get the crew?
So
How did you put it together?
we did casting for that. That's so I knew Christopher Dane because he had actually been in. I met him on Into the Darkness.
Okay.
He had been cast in that, and I couldn't, because I kind of inherited that script and film in a way from the director who had to move back to the States.
I see.
And I went, I claim this.
Absolutely.
I want this. This is my kind of film.
And he played Aragorn / Arathorn.
Yes. No, he played Arathorn, the father of Aragorn. Aragorn was a 2-year-old in that film,
Yes,
pretty much,
fine,
or
then.
2-week-old, 2 years.
Get it right, Jason.
No, Aragorn.
You've got like a million Lord of the Rings fans shaking their fists right now.
Shaking their fists. Absolutely. Did you raise any money for this? How did you?
Yeah, so Born of Hope was also crowdfunded. Really, this is before Kickstarter and Indiegogo or any of these sort of sites were in existence. But I started self-funding it because at that time I had money. But then I became a filmmaker and that disappeared. Yeah. But I had a little bit of money in the bank, and I started sort of self-funding it, and then realized very quickly that this was not, even though, everyone was volunteering, all this sort of stuff, but just feeding people, just costumes, wigs, everything like that. And so we turned to the audience who were watching, because they'd seen I'd gone around with the test shoot footage, and we put that out. And I'd gone to some conventions, and I got the likes of people at Richard Taylor at Weta had sort of seen it and given us a kind of thumbs up, which was like amazing.
I love that.
And
he's
all this
a legend
sort of stuff.
in the Lord of the Rings behind the scenes.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been very lucky to have met him and things, and it's great. And so that all helped. So we had a kind of bit of a following, and obviously there was a lot of Lord of the Rings fans out there, and we just turned to them and said, we want to keep making this. We want to finish this film, because we were sort of filming it in sort of chunks. We filmed it over a year and a half in the end. And we turned to them and just had a PayPal donation button thing, and just enough trickled in to sort of keep the production going.
That's amazing. Did you find them through like fan sites and stuff like that?
I think, yeah, we just, I'm trying to sort of remember where it all got put. We just put it on YouTube. I think that we did a little fun video called Don't Give, which was based at the time on a video called Don't Vote, which was a lot of celebrities in America doing a sort of like, don't vote unless you care about healthcare, blah, blah, blah. And we just like re-scripted it to us, going, don't vote, don't give. Yeah. Or unless you want to see this and like, like all
that's
this
kind of
cool. Reverse psychology.
Yeah, it was a really fun video. Like, and we didn't rip it off. We just we were inspired by it.
Isn't that how we as filmmakers are? Isn't that what we should be? We're inspired by other people's work who are great.
Yeah.
Had you planned your shots? Had you sort of really gone through? Because the woodland looks great. Some of the action looks fantastic. And I'm like, okay, this is really decent. Now, I don't know if you've seen Phil Hawkins' Star Wars Origins,
of course.
which has got Christopher Danes obviously involved in Phil Hawkins
I love
stuff.
Phil,
And
I was like,
great.
yes, when he was talking about sort of doing that, I was just like, yes, this is
I
it.
did the same. Phil, you've got to do it.
Got to do it. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's great. And I felt the same with yours when I watched yours. I was like, wow, there's some really strong sort of look to it and really well made, the sword fights and everything. I was like, hang on, this is really good. So had you planned that? Had you sort of storyboarded in any way? Had you set up how you thought this could be? And
I didn't probably storyboard enough, certainly. But I think there's probably a sort of storyboard in my head, even if I didn't necessarily have it down on paper. But certain things, it was just, what can we do on the day and things. So a bit of a mixture, which is why it's so interesting that it does seem to have a cohesive look to it. So some of the things were sort of storyboarded. We have had R.C. Annie doing our
stunts,
a lot of our fights and stunts at the time, but also Lewis Penfold did lots of our fights at the end, like the sort of climactic stuff at the end of the film. Lewis was heavily involved in, who also plays the main orc that Chris fights. So the big orc fight at the end is our fight guy. So we did a lot of, we actually, one thing I was able to do, which we weren't so able to do with Ren because of time and things, was to do a lot of fight rehearsals and sort of workshops. So we did workshops where people would play orcs and play rangers and like look at the fighting styles and things. So it was really fun to just explore all of that stuff.
It must have been amazing.
Yeah, there's some lovely behind the scenes stuff of people running around as orcs and doing orc fights and people as rangers, and like how hard it is to get so low and sort of all doing scuttling around and things. And I got involved in that. We were all just playing orcs at times.
Yeah, which has been fun. And in terms of location then, because again, you've got all this woodland and it looks great. Is that in Cambridge? Did you manage to blag stuff? Because again, there's no budget really.
No. So what we did. So the main location really for Born of Hope was West Stowe, Anglo-Saxon village, which is out near Bury St Edmunds. So it's relatively close to me. And I just got in touch with them. It was just a don't ask, don't get, but that's the philosophy you need to use.
Totally.
Got in touch and they were up for it. And I think, it was that thing of like, we come for 1 week and then we're like, can we come again? Can we go? Sort of in a way. But we just did it. The place stayed open to the public the whole time. So,
so you've got people watching as you're filming.
Sometimes we had big crowds, and sometimes you just get two people wandering around going, what is going on? The woodland in Born of Hope and in Wren is Epping Forest, right near London.
Is it really?
Yeah, I can't remember if I sort of found that because at the same time as Born of Hope, my friend started making Hunt for Gollum as well. So I think he may have discovered the area in Epping Forest first, and then I went, well, that's good. Let's, So we were sort of helping, like I think it was loaning costumes, and the other way around, we were sort of like mixing, matching, and Epping's just beautiful. It's wonderful ancient woodland. It's so close to London. It's so big and nice, and it's just stunning. I'm a big fan of woodland, and it's just a really nice one. Yeah. So we went there a bunch, we managed to sort of like get that for a very small fee.
But I think what's really interesting what you said there is if you don't ask, you don't get. And I think as filmmakers, you just have to. And people are so scared of doing that and going, I better not make my short because I haven't got a house, I haven't got this.
Yeah.
But if you just ask, People say yes.
I mean, people could, the worst they're going to say is no, and then you can ask someone else. But with Born of Hope, we got all this amazing stuff. Norton Armories, who have now been sort of in a way partners with us or have worked with us so much. They supplied a bunch of this rubber armor for our orcs. And again, I went, your stuff is cool.
It's cool.
Would you be interested in helping out? And John brought a whole load of armor, and we dressed up our orcs and just added to what we had. And all of our Kanath army in Ren are all dressed with the armor from Norton Armories as well. So yeah, you can build some wonderful partnerships and relationships with people. Again, if you just ask.
I totally agree. So now you've built this up, you put it out there on YouTube, and it just started to do well straight away. I mean, was there any fanfare? Did you do any big push?
So with Born of Hope, what really helped us was I did a little interview for a local paper in the February or so after we'd launched. So we launched in December, and then in February I did, so it had been doing all right, but nothing sort of spectacular. I did a little interview for a local paper, and the next day all the papers national wanted to know about it. It suddenly became a story that took off because it was super fan spends life savings making, in 6 years making this film or whatever. It became a story.
Yes.
And everybody wanted to talk to me for about 2 days, and then it's gone again. But so I was on the news, I was on Radio 2, I was on various things. And that obviously piqued the views a lot.
So what's important then, I suppose, for anyone trying to get the film out there is keep doing the PR, keep doing the publicity, keep talking about the film.
It's hard.
You never know.
It's hard to get that thing. I was very lucky with the last one that it found a story, that someone locked onto a story that really worked for it. And it can be hard. You're making an independent film like a lot of other people, finding that story. If you can try and sort of pitch a story out there that's going to get someone hooked, then that would be great. But it can be difficult there's a lot of white noise out there about filmmaking. So
there really is so much. So what did you learn from Born of Hope that you took to Ren, and the fact that you kept wanting to carry on, making sort of, movies or TV? It was like, well, I still want to do this. So what did you learn from that? And did you go, okay, I'll try not to do that next time? Was there anything you thought of at the time that you went, oh?
One of the things that appealed to me about doing Ren or doing a series is I've got a lot of actor friends, I've got a lot of crew friends, and it's let's do something we can keep coming back and making more stuff. That was the thing that really appealed. Born of Hope, we made it, it was crowdfunded, and we put it out and people liked it. And it's I just want to make something and get it out there. And so that's kind of why I went, what if we could sort of make a bunch of shorts that become like a web series? So
why don't you tell our lovely listeners what Ren is about. Robbie will then play the trailer, and then we'll talk about the making of it.
Okay. So Ren is about a young woman who lives in a very provincial town. She's looking after her family. She argues with her father and finds herself out in the woods encountering a couple of outlaws who have stolen a thing called a Rether. And this Rether gets broken, and it releases a spirit which goes inside of Ren, gives her a mark on her face, and this in her world is not good. She's essentially possessed by a demon and basically run away from the Kanath who are now pursuing her. We launch into what happens next, basically.
Try and catch me. Come on, you're gonna catch me. Give it back.
The Kanath protect us.
Why don't you like them?
You don't know them as I do.
I know they saved us from the marked ones.
There's only one reason why they've been Lingard.
But no one here has ever seen a marked one. Who are you? Get out of here!
Amari spirit. It's found a new vessel. I'm marked.
What have you done, Ren?
You won't go away, will you, Ren?
I can't leave. My family needs me.
All the people you know will think you're evil, dangerous. They will hunt you down.
Anyone caught harboring a mark will be punished. Anyone caught helping a mark will be punished. Anyone caught in support of a mark will be punished.
Amazing. And as you can hear by that, there's so much going on there. It really is great. It's really worth checking out. Go on YouTube as soon as you've listened to this, and all the links will be in the show notes, and do watch the first series. And like I say, the second series you're crowdfunding for now, which is great. So again, click the link, support if you can. So let's talk about how you actually, because you said you kickstarted it. So let's talk about how you did that.
We crowdfunded the first season of Ren, and was still a bit naive, I think, to crowdfunding at that time. All I had done before that is I tried to do an Indiegogo campaign for a pirate project I wanted to do.
Pirate?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a whole other thing. I really...
Is that in the works still? Or?
It's in the back of my head as something I really want to see done, about Mary Read, one of two famous female pirates from the Golden Age. But yeah, so the pirate project was a taster of how to do it. And then for Ren, and we did go and shoot a trailer in the end for that. That was a whole other thing. But
so what did you learn from doing that you then applied to the Ren campaign?
So building on that audience as much as possible. So the
audience of fantasy.
Yeah. So for season one, obviously
genre.
we hadn't made a Ren at all. It was very much like, this is the idea. Believe me, it's going to be good, which is hard to sell. And although we had, even at that time, millions of people had watched Born of Hope, we didn't have a big mailing list of people or something. You can't really contact people on YouTube very easily.
No.
So people can see things and disappear again. So it was quite a hard campaign last time. And we raised a lot of money for Kickstarter. It was like 36,000 we ended up raising last time.
Huge amount.
Yeah,
for
to a film,
web series,
especially for a project like this. I definitely feel there's a proper psychology involved in crowdfunding.
Tell us about that.
Well, just
please,
just in the sense that
because listeners want to know.
Well, I mean, we last time, we were struggling a lot more than we are now, which is brilliant. But we hadn't hit 50%, for example, by halfway through our campaign, and it was like, this is tough. So we really had to sort of nudge to try and break those sort of things, because I feel like anyone looking going, oh, they're not even at 50%. Are they going to make it?
Exactly. Shall I even bother putting in? Yeah.
And I also thought, because we wanted the 35,000 when we were on 29,000, and when we made 10 grand or something in the last day, the very last 24 hours of ours is just
peak.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But does 29,000 seem unachievable to 35 in comparison to 30,000? I was just looking at it, just trying to sort of figure out all this psychology and sort of how do we, how can we sort of thing, and try to sort of encourage people to, can we get to 30 at least, so that then it feels more achievable and all this sort of stuff. So
a lot of it is about giving, making sure people are feeling confident that the project is definitely going to come through, and making sure that you're showing people that you're on an upward trend. Why
we set our target as what we did, because of knowing our audience. This time we'd spent a year collecting, gathering people onto our mailing list to find those fans who really wanted to help, and then doing a pre-pledge thing to see how many of them really are willing to click a button and say that they're going to give, and from all of that we were able to sort of put together something to go, okay, I think this is what's achievable, I think this is how many backers we'll get, hopefully we'll get more, whatever, but it's still a bit of a guessing work at the end, but we've hit our 25%, which is great. We would have loved to have hit 30 by now, but we're doing really well. We're not even a quarter of the way through, and we're hit at a quarter, so this is good.
It is good. It is good. Yeah, I remember when we did the Food for Thought one, and I think we raised 75k in the end, which is ridiculous. It's amazing.
You did that with Indiegogo, right? Or
no, we did it with Crowdfunder.
Yeah.
And it was specifically targeted more for environment friendly, and we were targeting people who care about the planet, more than just actor friends or, we were like, these are the people we want to target. And we specifically, not like you were saying, it's about really thinking about who your audience would be and going, right, if we target them this week and this is who we're going to push then, and oh gosh, if we've raised over that much by then, we can then go to these guys and say, hey, we've raised this much, all we need now is this to get that bigger push. And that's exactly what you say. It's about being clever with it and actually really thinking about it.
So when you needed to build up that initial email kind of list that you were saying, like what was your process for doing that? Were you going to like different forums or like different, websites about, that were interested in the fantasy genre, or, what was your process for acquiring that kind of initial list of people that you were
So we started off with our initial fans. So we did have obviously people who backed last time, our cast and crew.
From Born of Hope?
No, from the first season of Ren, but also from Born of Hope. Yeah, so all of those sort of I did have a mailing list for Born of Hope. So again, all of those people were approached and said, want to join this new mailing list, basically, because of and also with the whole data collection relatively recently last year, we sort of restarted our mailing list to a certain degree and asked people to come across. So we've been encouraging people to move across rather than just put everyone together. We wanted everyone to verify that they definitely wanted to be on and all this sort of stuff. That makes sense, yeah. But so we started off with what we already had. And then even at events and stuff, we had a sort of, sign up sheet, sheet.
That's clever, yeah.
On our, all of our mail outs. So like we really started pushing this beginning of last year. And so it's mostly been through social media. So all of our posts are trying to encourage people to get to come and join the mailing list to show support. We basically set a target of about 5,000 signups to kind of go, okay, if we get this many signups, we can launch our crowdfunder. So we got an idea of how many people we might need, and then it's just desperately trying to encourage people. We've got 100,000 subscribers now on our YouTube channel, which is ridiculous.
It's incredible,
amazing. Yeah. And but trying to convince them to come over to a mailing list is quite difficult, So
can you, though, with YouTube, I suppose, I imagine you put up your crowdfunding video on your YouTube channel, and then I suppose you can put links under your all the other videos and keep when someone puts a comment, go, hey, go here to support.
There's a lot of that going on. Okay, even on the Amazon Prime, if someone's commented and maybe said, why is there only one episode? I'm like, well, we're currently trying to do more. So there's a lot of that sort of stuff, trying to sort of find people who clearly are interested and make sure they know that the funding is happening. And so press and various things. But just building that list, just encouraging people from all the social media to sort of come into an actual mailing list so that you can contact them, because otherwise people can easily miss a tweet and they can easily miss anything. Like even if they follow you and even if they got the notification bell on, even if they got this, whatever, it's so easy to miss stuff. I find out about crowdfunding that my friends have just done, and I'm like, how did I miss that? I'm your friend and I missed that you were doing this. So it's so important, and the mailing list has definitely been really good for that.
They do say email is one of the best ways to do crowdfunding. We really worked hard at making sure we were emailing people all the time. And the same group, if you haven't done yet, please do. And guess we're nearly there. Yeah. And it was a full-time job. There was no question about it. I've done 3 now, and I don't know if I'd want to do another one.
Yeah, they are tough.
Right at the end of going, I've done that. And but I suppose where you're at, you've got something massively to show for it, to say, well, look, if you want to see more, this is the way we have to do it right now.
Yeah.
It's like you said, with the fact that it's a series, that it's the crew and the production team keep coming back to it. You've got like a built-in audience as well, almost. So you're not starting from scratch each time, like you would be with a separate project.
That's the thing, exactly. So we're in a much better place this season for making more stuff, because people can literally watch the episode before and be like, okay, this is the next thing. But it is an interesting battle, but there's no funding for web series in the UK, as far as I know. Please tell me if I'm wrong, but
it's just tough to make money from web series. This is the problem that a lot of people have, is saying, well, great, we want web series and we want these 10-minute shorts, because people now, kids especially, their concentration levels aren't going for 30 minutes. It's 10 minutes, that'll do. So yours is perfect.
Yeah.
But where's the platform for these? And there are platforms, but then it's driving the right people there, and do you get paid from that? Just, not enough.
Yeah, this is the hard thing. I think there's we've talked to some people at times about potential platforms and stuff in the States and places like that and things, but there isn't a huge amount going on in the UK for it. But yeah, we're still looking. I mean, Ren was always an experiment in this sort of field. One into web series at all, but into something so ambitious as a web series. This isn't, 3 people in a kitchen
it's
just
really
chatting, So it's like, can this even be done? And this second, this campaign for new episodes is very much a continuation of that, of like, we did it the first time, we made it work. We had to beg, borrow and steal a lot, and everyone was working for free and things, like, to make this sustainable. Can we make this sustainable?
First series then, how did you go about making it? You've now got a reasonable amount of money to go make something like this, but you've got sorts. You've got to find the right locations, you've got to find the actors, you've got
horses. Giles, are horses difficult to work with?
Robbie, I couldn't say. In the rain with horses. Yeah, it's not easy to work with horses. So you've got all that. How did you go about? You go, oh my God, right, I'm making this. What did you do? What was your process? How did you get everyone involved? Cast, crew, everything?
So I think one of the very first things, we'd been working on the scripts, but the scripts kind of continued to be worked on really until literally we're filming. I was writing certain scenes. We wrote a flashback scene, which we have ready to go as part of a special sort of Kickstarter thing at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got it ready. It's been sort of on hold. And only people who've seen the DVD have seen this. But that's waiting for a special occasion, basically.
Exclusive content.
Yeah,
but
basically.
You've got to do that with your crowdfunds. You have something saving later. And guess what? You could get this. Okay.
And it didn't end up in the show. And we're like, right, we put out a deleted scene relatively recently, and we're like, well, let's save this one for this.
Yeah.
So
and just to say, you wrote it with Chris Dane and Michelle
Michelle Golder. Yes, she was our producer, and she helped out a bunch on the story as well.
Great.
And Chris and I wrote the thing, so we went out and started casting. I think feels like one of the first things was we need to find Ren and we need to find Hunter. Chris was going to play Khan, so there was a few other roles, but who was going to be Ren was kind of the main thing,
because it's called Ren.
It's called Ren.
Need a kick-ass girl.
We knew straight away. It's like, this is a bad idea. Don't call it Ren.
Yes, call it anything else.
But yeah, so we went out and we did a whole bunch of casting. We got self tapes in from people.
Did you put it out on Spotlight? Did you just do it on your socials?
We did it on a lot of things. I think we ended up on Spotlight at the time, Casting Call Pro, which is now Mandy.com.
Yes.
And probably shooting people in various places. And we got a whole bunch of self-tapes from people, which were awesome. And then from that, we brought in a few people to read for the roles, and I actually did casting. I really like doing kind of group casting almost. So I auditioned Wrens and Hunters together, sort of thing. We mixed and matched people.
That's cool.
Yeah, well, I think
it's easy for the actors, right?
Yeah,
that's a good way to do it.
This is the thing, acting is reacting so much that if you're just reading with someone sitting off camera, just standing there statically, and I'm like, this one, it doesn't show me very much what you can really do, and it doesn't give the actor much to play off. So this was a perfect way, I thought, to do it, where you can get two of them interacting with each other, doing scenes, like making the scene come alive, not just standing there doing the lines. And so we did all that, and we found Hunter that way, but I didn't find Ren. I was like, there were some wonderful actresses, but I was like, I don't think we found them. And we kind of went back into like, who else haven't we found? And I think Harriet, who was helping me with casting at the time, I'm not completely sure, but I think she actually found Sophie on Mandy.com and asked her if she would send in a self-tape.
This is Sophie Skelton?
Yes, this is Sophie Skelton. So I think that's the way around. Either that or Sophie found it. I'm not completely sure how it happened, but Sophie sent in a self-tape, and we were like, she's really cool. And Harriet brought her in for a casting, which I wasn't able to attend for some reason. I can't remember why, but I wasn't able to be there for that very first casting. So again, just watched the film of it, I was like, I think this is right, but let's get her and Joanne together. And that was the point where I was like, okay, yeah, no, we found them. This is Ren and Hunter.
Joanne Fulton Brown, who played Hunter, and Sophie Skelton, who's obviously the big star now from Outlander.
Yeah.
Which is incredible that you found her first. You know what I mean? I'm sure she'd done loads of other stuff.
They claimed that they found her, but we found her first.
Yeah, of course you did. So it's great. So now you've got your core cast.
Yeah.
How then do you go about shooting it in terms of finding the locations? Like you say, you used Epping Forest, but in terms of you've got to get your swords, you've got to get your armour in, you've got to get
So locations was a big thing. We found someone who had some space, and I was going to sort of just borrow a bit of car parking space, or talk to him to try and borrow some car parking space. And I went and met with Bill, and he went, I do have this other place, this place in Caxton. And I was like, oh, that looks, and he showed me a picture, and I was like, well, that looks huge. I don't know if anyway, we went and checked it out, and I went, this is huge, but this is cool.
And this is a car park?
No, this was Caxton's. This was a.
They shot the dead marshes in a car park.
It can be done.
You shot yours and some of yours in a car park.
Basically. So no, this was a warehouse that used to be used as sort of a paint factory thing. And so talked to Bill and managed to do a deal with Bill. So again, don't ask, don't get.
There you go.
And so we took over this place for almost 6 months, and despite at first going, we'll just use a little bit, we used the whole place.
You keep pushing out a bit further and a bit further.
Yeah,
it's still here today. No, we'll use over that area.
He just gave us the whole, we had the whole place. So office, we had production office, we had makeup and costume spaces, we had a big green room that expanded into a bigger green room because we had so many extras. Huge workshop space that was a big store for props and costumes and wood, a lot of wood, and then became our interior sets, and just that huge car park became our back lot for the studio, and we built an entire medieval village basically, and sounds crazy, but it was a lot of work, but it also, we had the freedom, we had a whole, we had months to build it. And we could build a 360 set.
So you could design it essentially. You could design how you want to shoot it by, this is the setup. This is what I want.
Exactly. So it just gave us a lot more freedom. And obviously we were restricted again because we were doing it ourselves. So, one of the reasons, interestingly, that our aspect ratio is 2:3:5 is because most of the buildings have no roofs.
Got you. Yes. Yeah, makes sense.
They
you
go
can't shoot
8
any
feet,
higher.
and then there's maybe half a meter of corn pretending to be a roof, and then it stops.
Isn't that amazing? As filmmakers, we go see a location, we go, yeah, this will work really well. It's 6 foot high. Yes, fine. It's got no roof. That's not a problem. Then you go, you put a camera in later and you go, oh shit, what are we going to do now? We have to do close-ups or push. It's amazing, isn't it?
So,
you've got to think about that.
We deliberately chose a wide aspect ratio to help us with that a lot, because we're in the village a lot.
And crew was easy to get, was it? Because again, you're not really paying much.
Yes and no. I mean, so again, a lot of people came on board either through knowing us or other people who had gotten bored. One area we really struggled with, and was quite a crucial area, was makeup.
Yes. Because you've got you've got the mark on a face, but you've got this, the stabs, the look, the mud. It's got to look worn in. It's got to look good,
and so the mark especially was a bit of a nightmare to sort out. Because I had this sort of idea of this originally a sort of bioluminescent sort of thing that maybe sort of like almost wants to feel organic. It needs to look like it's a sort of a thing coming from within, all this sort of stuff. And you try that with makeup, it's so hard. And again, yes, if we could have got a special effects makeup artist as our head makeup person, but with no budget, that was really difficult to do. And in the end, one of our main makeup people was a student who'd never done any film stuff before, and we kind of dragged her in really, and she suddenly was like, I can't, she says in the interviews, I can't do this, but she did it, and yes, it would take 2 hours pretty much to get the mark on every day, and the big plans for we'll get one of those tattoos, fake tattoos, and we'll use that.
Just get a real tattoo. Stick a tattoo.
Probably would have been easier.
Because obviously you're now somewhere in the middle of
much in the middle of nowhere.
So how did you manage that, and getting food there, all that sort of stuff?
So, Michelle Golder, our producer / production manager / everything.
Everything, yeah.
I mean, because as soon as we were filming, I was now directing and
So
everything.
you can't produce as well.
I can't be in the office making things happen. So she was there. She was the little legs beneath the duck. I mean, she did such a stunning job.
That's a great phrase.
That's a great analogy for a producer. I am the legs beneath the spinning duck. I love that.
It doesn't big her up enough. I'm
going to put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah. But like so to me, there's a lot of things that I almost don't know how these things happened. We were fed every day and well, and it was because people like Michelle. Sometimes Michelle would literally be cooking, or she'd managed to get some other volunteer in to cook, or we tried to do it also a bit more professionally and got in a van, sort of like a Mexican burrito van, one day, and they were lovely. But it just didn't work because they weren't a film thing, so they weren't ready for it, and they literally were asking every single extra on our big day, "What do you want?" And they're rapping, and it took forever.
And we've had that. It's true. You've got to make sure you get film people in, even though they're more expensive. Sometimes,
yeah, we just needed
they
pre-made.
know what they have to deliver all at the same time when you're ready, not when they're ready.
Yeah.
It's about you because you might go over an hour for lunch. So it's like, okay, and this it's all cold now.
Yeah, I had a fold-away sofa bed in the production office that I would usually camp down on, and there was a lot of blow-up beds in the makeup room. Became a big place where people camped. Downstairs it was tent village. So some of our actors. So Sophie was sensible and she went back to Michelle's and like had a proper bed. But that
means she had to come in early. But then she was getting her makeup done anyway and hair, so costume.
Exactly. So there was a little tent village for Joanne and Nick both camped there when they were down and stuff. So it was kind of and it meant that at 3 a.m. we were sometimes having Nerf battles.
But you know what? That whole thing, it even sounds fun.
It
you know,
was.
You sort of go, you'll never forget that.
Yeah.
Those people who worked on that and worked their asses off for nothing, for peanuts, will never forget that wonderful bubble that happened.
Yeah.
And just, it's there forever, you know? And that's why it's so nice that it's done so well.
Yeah.
And you can just go, they're proud of it, you know? So we did that. We helped and it was horrible and hard. But do you know what? That's why we do it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, which is great. I didn't have a question at the end of that.
No,
I just sort of faded out with a. This is where you play triumphant music.
It's
Come
true.
back in
With Ren, one of the things I personally was like, I want to make sure I get this done too, which is I want to get to know people. I want to feel like I have the experience of making the show. Back to the days of watching the DVD of Lord of the Rings and going, these guys are having a great time, and it's like this is all part of it because it becomes that bubble. And yes, you get this thing at the end, but make sure that you enjoy the experience of it as well, even if you don't get enough sleep.
Yeah, and you won't.
No.
Any filmmaker you're not going to get sleep.
Anyway.
So you might as well just embrace that from now. You're not going to sleep, so get your camp bed out, and if you get some sleep on it, great, good for you.
Yeah.
But if not, here's a Nerf gun.
Yeah.
So from the shoot, which sounds so much fun, and it's great that you said I'm going to have fun, because actually after the Dare, where I didn't have as much fun, I let the actors do their thing, and I tried to stay away as much as possible, which was very hard. But it was such a tough shoot. So on King Arthur, I was very much like, I'm going to enjoy that just as much as I can in the rain and doing all that sort of stuff with horses and playing with swords. So moving on to the edit then, because doing this, it was you edited as well with everyone else. There's a few of you who edited it. What was that process like? Sort of putting it all together and then getting it out there once YouTube. How was the edit?
So I was mostly doing that on my own, and then then once it was sort of compiled together a lot more, I was able to get a friend, Simon, who is a professional editor, who obviously I would have loved to have just handed over to him.
Of course you would, yeah.
But it was like, that isn't going to be possible, but can I take some of your time? And I literally would load my Mac at the time into my car in the passenger and drive to his down in London.
Oh my gosh.
And then unload it, and then we'd sit there for a few hours going through the edit and sort of going, have you got this shot? What about this? Or maybe tighten this. Yeah. Chris and I both kind of edited Born of Hope,
which is incredible. Again,
yeah, and I think I probably did Into the Darkness. So we kind of learned through filmmaking. I was always doing the editing side of things. I have more of a skill for narrative editing, like linear editing, than I do for anything else. But but yeah, like it's an interesting, again, it's all useful for the learning process. But even then, you think you got enough coverage and you still find something missing. You're like, I don't know. Like Simon would be like, have you got the shot where have you got that reverse? And I'm like, no,
we didn't get that.
No, we got everything else.
But yeah, just
like there's so many shots and we didn't get that one shot. Sorry. But yeah, and actually, like through that process, we did decide to do a pickup shoot a year later.
Wow, okay.
Of some things we could do. We couldn't do everything, but we did a bunch of stuff with a bunch of extras, just to enhance our episode 4 more than anything.
I see.
So that was really interesting.
Fine.
Did you always know that it was going to be 10 minutes per episode in terms of, was that always the format going in?
Yes, we had written it in that way. So it was written with, this is the end of this episode, this is the end of this episode. And originally, I think at the very start, the idea was to maybe make 6 episodes. And then we were struggling with the 6th episode a bunch when we were through writing it. And in the end, because we couldn't quite settle on it, and because also it became sort of where we're heading in these new episodes now. But it was sort of like we'd ended the 5th episode on such a high that the next one being like a conversation between Ren and Hunter or whatever, going, who are you, and it felt like it was going to sort of end on a bit of a low, and we're like, no, like, is it better, we've got all this action build up, like, should we just end it there?
Sounds like a smart move.
Yeah, I think that's
because a lot of, even with the kind of age of Netflix where supposedly you could just let the content dictate what the length of certain things is. Even then, you sometimes find a lot of shows where they're sort of, you feel like they're having to pad stuff out to fit a certain runtime or to fit a certain number of episodes per season. So it's really encouraging to have that flexibility that you could actually let the content dictate the format to a certain extent.
Yeah, that is something nice about the internet, that yes, I sort of say there are 5-10 minute episodes, but they all fluctuate a bit. So but we don't have to go, we have to cut stuff out of this one to make it 10, or we don't have to pad this with something.
You're not bound too much by formula.
Exactly, which makes it nice. But I always think of the first season and the way we're writing the show is almost like an episode, and the end of the episodes are like the ad breaks you'd get in any other show. So they leave you on a bit of a cliffhanger, and then we're back into the next bit.
There's
That's kind of
mini arcs that you're doing.
Which is so important, and I think obviously you'll be doing that in the second
plan
season,
for the next one. Yeah, exactly, same thing.
Super exciting. So those of you who do enjoy filmmaking and enjoy this, do look at the website, do look at the crowdfunder on Kickstarter. It's got a new name? Is it Ren something else now?
So no, it's still Ren the Girl with the Mark.
Okay.
Although we never named our episodes last time, but we're planning to start naming them. We'll probably go back and name the other ones as well, so we can make it a little easier. But yeah, like on Kickstarter, it's easy enough to find. You can literally just type in Ren, and it will come up. But I think we're Ren the Girl with the Mark, new episodes of Fantasy Series or something like that. But we're pretty easy to find. And the Kickstarter runs until the 29th of February at pretty much midnight. We're going till 11:59 on the Saturday.
Hours we made it by 30 seconds. We made the actual target by 30 seconds.
Wow.
So if
living on the edge, Giles.
We didn't mean to. So 11:59 on the 28th of February.
We planned 29th of February.
Make sure you're on there, and if you haven't pledged by that point, pledge to
come. What basically we're going to be doing a live stream probably for most of that day. So come join us for that, and we'll be doing a big old push.
Can't wait.
Just go out and pledge now. I'd say.
Thank you, Robin.
If you're
you
not
can always up it later.
If you're not someone who sort of does kind of crowdfunding, like pledges to crowdfunding, so I highly recommend you do, because you actually, I think the email updates are really nice to get, and you sort of you're reminded that you're supporting something that's like made by a passionate group of people, and it's not just if you're someone who sees trailers when you go to the cinema and you complain that like, oh, everything's just remakes, it's studio properties out there, if you actively complain about that, it's your duty to go out and pledge to these kinds
Absolutely.
of
And
projects.
you feel part of something, and that's really nice forever. It's yours.
Exactly.
All those people who pledged for Ren the first series, it's theirs.
Yeah, absolutely. We could not have made it without them, and all the volunteers that then came on set as well. Like hundreds of people worked on the first season, and exactly the same is going to be the case this time. Thousands, like, probably.
So if people want to get involved, maybe send you to say, look, I'll help volunteer for this one. There's any filmmakers out there who go, hey, I want to get involved and help you.
Yeah. Well, firstly, I would also point out that, again, go look at the Kickstarter page, because there's some stuff on there that's great for, we've tried to tailor our rewards for various people in our audience.
You can shadow you on set, or you can shadow the DOP.
Yes, exactly. So if you're a filmmaker, and you probably are listening to this, then do check out the rewards, because we've got things like being an extra, which is really fun, and we've got a couple of, we had one of our extras from last time, as in our featured, he was a featured extra in the last season, and he's put in a bid now for the deluxe extra experience, which we have. It's our deluxe extra experience. We've got a couple of people doing that, and that is
you get to keep your outfit. Is that right?
So Miriam is going to design
you.
and make a costume specially for you that's going to work for the show, and then you get to go on set, be that person in costume, and then you can take that costume home with you and wear it as many times as you want, which is like such a cool idea.
How about that, folks?
There you go, folks. What more do you want?
But yes, you can shadow the DOP and myself, and if you shadow Neil, you also, one of the rewards you would also get is his lighting course that he's done. So there's a 4-hour lighting course on there. So if you're interested, then check it out. You can only find it at the moment through the Kickstarter. So I highly recommend that.
Do that. That's Neil.
A great opportunity.
Who shout out to you. Thank you for setting this up. Really appreciate it. Listen, this has been fantastic and fascinating.
I can natter at you guys for hours.
I love it. Thank you so much.
We love it.
And where can people follow you yourself, so then they can also get
so giving some social information out there. So for myself, it's like Twitter and things is at Actors at Work, and also for Ren and things is at Ren the Series. You can find us on most things. And Mythica Entertainment is also where we are on Facebook and Instagram and various things. And I think katemadison.net is also my website, which I probably should update more often.
There you go.
But come find us there.
Yeah, we'll do. I'll put links to as many of those as I can in the show notes, but I'm sure one will lead to the other as well. So I'll put the best
they're
one.
all interlinking.
Perfect. Robbie, where can they follow you?
It's at Robbie McCain at Twitter. You know, Giles.
You can follow me at Giles Alderson or at Filmmakers Pod, or our website, filmmakerspodcast.com, where you can get nearly 150 episodes now on how to make films and web series and TVs. It's free. What have you got to lose? If you enjoy this, do subscribe. It makes a big difference. And write a review. That also really helps us. Write a lovely review and say, hey, you guys are ace. Because
and tell your friends.
Important. Tell your friends who are filmmakers.
I'm just going to add another little plug for the Kickstarter by saying the same thing, that you do not have to go to the Kickstarter and pledge money if you cannot afford to, but please do spread the word, because like sharing and social boosting of all these sort of things, podcasts and things, anything that you like, tell other people about it so that they can like it too.
I totally agree.
But what's your lowest pledge? Is it £1 or?
Yeah, we literally have a pound
stick
pledge.
£1 in, and then you're part of the team, and you get the updates, and you feel part of something.
It's literally worth, you
can't even think of something it's worth.
Exactly.
Not even a packet of Chewits.
No, exactly. It's nothing. And that will get you into our back. So basically, it'll get you into the next sort of section of the camp. After the campaign, we got a back kit pledge manager, and then there'll be other, you can a la carte a little bit there and just go, I want that. So you can make that decision later. If you're not sure at the moment, just put in the £1 one, and then you can sort of like figure it out as the campaign goes on.
Treat it as like it's a daily dose, or it's a like regular dose of inspiration for getting those emails.
Totally love it. There you go. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate your time in doing so, and do support whatever you can with indie filmmakers. Remember, you can go out and make your indie film. Know who your audience is and get out there and do it. And if you're lucky enough to rise up and do well, Robbie,
you send the elevator back down.
Thank you very much for joining us, Kate. Really appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
And we will see you all next Tuesday. Take care. Go make your film. Bye-bye.